All right, we are going to do example number 2 now, which is still talking about using our acronym SOH CAH TOA, sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cos, adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent, opposite over adjacent, instead of writing out the whole ratio every time. We're going to start off the exact same way as we've done our other questions. We want to know that we're solving for angle x. So I can circle my x or I can circle my b. It doesn't matter because they really represent the same thing. If I just circle x, then we know we're talking about angle b. If I circle b, we know we're talking about angle x. What side is my hypotenuse? Well, here is 90 degrees. My hypotenuse then is the length that is 25 centimeters. What side is opposite x? Down here is opposite x. X is projecting between A and C. Again, there's nothing written here because that's a B. I'm going to take an opposite of my B. I'm going to put a little b. So again, in my formulas, wherever I have opposite of x, I'm going to put little b. And the third side, well, 11's got to be the adjacent side. It's not opposite. It's not hypotenuse. So it is the adjacent to angle x. So again, we always want to start off labeling our triangle. Next thing we want to do, let's write our ratios. Sine of x, right? Opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is b, hypotenuse is 25. That's sine of x. Cos of x, adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's 11 divided by 25. That's cos of x. And tan of x, again, is 11. Opposite, my bad. This is wrong, all right? So we need to kind of put a little bit of a line through here. This is actually wrong. It is not 11 over b. It should be b over 11. Lucky for me, I don't actually have to use that ratio because if I kind of look ahead again, I want to solve for x. So b over 25 doesn't work, and 11 over b or b over 11 doesn't work either. The ratio that's going to work for me is my cosine ratio. So my mistake when I wrote the ratio wrong actually isn't going to bite me in the butt. So anyways, I want to know, how do I solve? Right, so again, the key thing is I'm going to work the cosine ratio. I don't actually have to write the sine ratio. I got lucky with my mistake. I didn't actually have to write the tangent ratio. But I do know that adjacent over hypotenuse is 11 over 25. That's 0.44 as a decimal. That stops at 0.44. I tell my calculator to work backwards, so I need to find the cos minus 1 on my calculator, 0.44. And that tells me angle x, then this angle up here has to be 64 degrees. So that's example number 2A. Let's look at example number 2B. Hopefully I did a better job on that one than I did on 2A. Circle the angle. Circle either x or circle A. It doesn't matter. Let's circle x. And again, A means the same thing. Hypotenuse, again, if my right angle is the top here, down here in the bottom, 16 is actually my hypotenuse. Opposite of x or opposite of A, it means the same thing. It's projecting all the way over here to where it says 15. So I got opposite is 15, and then adjacent to x is the side over here between A and C. Again, there's nothing there. I'm going to throw a little b over here to kind of keep adjacent x happy. Sine, cosine, tangent. Let's write our ratios, and let's see if I got them right this time. Sine of x, opposite, is 15. Hypotenuse is 16. I got that one right. Cos of x, adjacent, which is b over hypotenuse, which is 16. I got that one right. Tangent of x, opposite, is 15, and adjacent is b. All right, I got 3 for 3 in my ratios. So again, looking at what information I have here, I actually have more work here again than I needed. I didn't need to write all 3 ratios. The only ratio I needed to solve this problem is I needed to use the sine ratio. And again, the reason I'm using the sine ratio, it's the one that actually gives me the decimal value. It's going to bring this to the front here so we can see my little rectangle. Okay, so in the end, I wanted to make sure then that I'm using my sine ratio. Opposite over hypotenuse are the 2 numbers I know. Those 2 numbers turn into a decimal. I tell my calculator to work backwards, sine minus 1, and I got an angle of 70 degrees. All right, sine, cosine, tangent, SOH CAH TOA. If you like writing the words out and the ratios out, use the words and the ratios. If you want to just use the acronym, just use the acronym. If you don't want to do all three ratios, make sure you pick the ratio that solves the problem. It's kind of like doing a Sudoku. It's kind of like doing a can-can. What is it that you have the information in order to find the missing piece? All right, that's it. Time to do some practice on your own.